Okay, let's go. Whoa, shit.
In December 2021, the creator behind the channel, Foisk Nabius Naimova, returned to an abandoned hospital he had visited before. But this time, his camera recorded someone he hadn't noticed at all. And later that night, he realized he wasn't alone.
Вещи-то вполне себе неплохие, на бомжовские. А это кто?
Yeah.
But to understand how he got there, we need to go back to the beginning. According to the explorer, a serious accident had recently taken place inside the hospital. A teenage girl had fallen down an elevator shaft, leading authorities to seal off several entrances in dangerous areas. This made getting inside much more difficult than before. Eventually, the explorer managed to find another way into the building through the basement.
Короче, ребята, какой-то подвальный люк нашел, я его раньше не видел. После того, как девчонка разбилась, видимо, все замуровали здесь. Приходится заползать непосредственно через подвал. Фига, слушайте, а я тут не был, блин. Это, короче, часть подвала, которую я вообще не видел. Нихера прикол. Огромный какой.
The passage led into a part of the hospital he had never explored before, where dark tunnels, crumbling rooms, and dangerous openings stretched beneath the building. But while filming, his camera captured something he wouldn't notice until much later.
Меняется потихонечку заброшка, меняется. Шифр этот непонятный. Вот они, эти дырки.
Did you see it? In the darkness, a human figure can be seen standing in the shadows. The explorer never noticed the person while he was inside, and only spotted them later when reviewing the footage. Who the person was or what they were doing there remains unknown. But soon, the explorer began hearing something. Footsteps.
Кто-то явно сюда идет. К зданию подходит.
He searched the nearby area but couldn't find anyone. Then, later in another part of the hospital, he spotted someone.
По-любому там кто-то есть. Вот не зря мне кажется, что кто-то ходил. Я же говорил. Хрена. Я точно здесь не один. И это был человек. Похоже, наверное, тот, кто здесь живет в этой комнате. Охренеть.
A figure briefly appeared among the abandoned rooms before disappearing from sight. Whether it was the same person captured earlier remains impossible to know. But deeper inside the hospital, the explorer discovered something even stranger. In one of the rooms was a large pile of belongings, clothes, books, school textbooks, and personal items. Some of them looked far too recent to have been left inside an abandoned hospital for years. It appeared as though someone had brought them there. The explorer moved closer and then...
О, нифига. Да тут чей-то гардероб. Может быть, это за мной следит. Хозяин всего этого барахла. Смотрите, здесь какие-то книжки, учебники. Хера прикол. Вещи-то вполне себе неплохие, на бомжовские. А это кто?
Я.
Неожиданно. А вы где?
А вам зачем?
Да, собственно, не зачем, конечно.
Ну давайте разойдемся миром.
Hidden among the pile of belongings was a woman. She was so carefully concealed beneath the clothes and surrounding objects that the explorer could have easily walked right past her without noticing. He then asked her if she needed help.
А вам помощь не нужна?
Сигареты есть?
Да не курю, к сожалению.
Ну тогда все.
А вы не боитесь замерзнуть здесь?
Да вроде пока нет.
Да.
Доброй ночи.
И вам спокойной ночи. Да, ребят, вот так неожиданно местного жителя встретил, точнее местную жительницу. Ни хрена прикол.
According to the explorer, the temperature outside was around 25 degrees Celsius. Despite the freezing conditions, the woman insisted that she was fine and didn't need any help. After a short conversation, they wished each other a good night, and the explorer continued exploring. But the story didn't end there. Earlier, the explorer had noticed a police vehicle near the hospital. Later, when he finally made his way outside, officers were waiting for him. According to the explorer, they questioned him about what he had been doing inside the abandoned building. So, he showed them the footage recorded by his camera, and that's when the officers saw the woman.
Ребят, буду закругляться. Прикиньте сейчас, что произошло. Мне абсолютно не показалось, что УАЗик остановился. Я спускаюсь ниже, а внизу стоят, представляете, вот на этом этаже стоят полицейские. Такие, ходи сюда, ты что здесь делаешь? В общем, подумали, что я делаю тут закладки. Хорошо, что у меня видеозаписи есть. Я им показал эти видеозаписи, но они поняли, что совершенно по другому профилю здесь работаю. Еще какая-то табличка, смотрите, тоже похожая, гадалка какая-то. В общем, просмотрели ребята они эти записи, наткнулись на ту запись, где я снимал непонятную женщину, закопанную в груди вещей и ботинок. Ну, короче, вытащили они ее из этой кучи и повезли куда-то в социальный приют. Переключились они на нее по-быстрому, а меня оставили. С одной стороны, конечно, неприятно, с другой стороны, это наоборот хорошо. Ну, сейчас зима на улице. Что с ней будет, замерзнет.
After watching the footage, the officers went back inside the hospital. According to the explorer, they found the woman, brought her outside and took her away. He believed she may have been taken to a shelter, although exactly where she was taken could not be confirmed. What began as another exploration of an abandoned hospital ended with the discovery of a woman hidden so well among the ruins that she could have easily gone unnoticed. And with temperatures reportedly dropping to 25 degrees Celsius, perhaps this unexpected encounter happened at exactly the right time. Beanbag Adventure is an urban exploration channel known for documenting visits to some of the most abandoned and deteriorated locations across China. Most of the videos feature the creator exploring these places alone, often with little more than a flashlight and a camera. In February 2022, he uploaded what appeared to be another routine exploration, this time inside an abandoned laboratory somewhere in rural China. Very little is known about the building, including what it was originally used for or why it was abandoned. At first, the exploration unfolded like many of his previous videos, but as he searched deeper into the laboratory, he stumbled across something that transformed an ordinary exploration into one of the most disturbing rabbit holes on his channel. At first, the laboratory appeared to be completely abandoned. Broken glass, rusted equipment, and piles of debris covered almost every room. As the explorer made his way deeper into the building, he eventually reached the lower level, where much of it had been flooded. That's when he noticed dozens of glass bottles scattered across the floor. According to the uploader, many of them appeared to contain formaldehyde, a chemical commonly used to preserve biological specimens and tissue. Finding bottles like these inside an abandoned laboratory was unusual enough, but what he discovered just moments later was far more difficult to explain.
来吧，兄弟们想看的地下实验室，心理承受能力强的朋友，随 的一切物品都是视频效果，皆为道具，都是一些影视道具，拍摄用的。视频的限制。
As he continued through the flooded section of the laboratory, the explorer came across a large concrete pit. Inside were what appeared to be dozens of small human bodies piled on top of one another. The discovery immediately changed the tone of the video. Rather than directly calling them human remains, the uploader repeatedly referred to them as movie props. While that might seem like an ordinary explanation, many viewers believe he deliberately avoided describing them any other way, as making unsupported claims about human remains could have resulted in the video being removed or his channel facing penalties. After making the discovery, the uploader could barely keep himself composed. Between bouts of gagging, he repeatedly insisted the bodies were nothing more than movie props. Whether he genuinely believed that, or was simply being cautious, remains unclear. Surprisingly, the video attracted very little attention, and over the following months he continued uploading his usual urban explorations as if nothing had happened. That changed on December 26, 2022. Nearly 10 months after his first visit, the uploader returned to the abandoned laboratory, hoping to see whether anything had changed. The moment he stepped inside, it was obvious someone had been there since his last exploration. Piles of clothing had appeared in rooms that were previously empty. Several bottles of formaldehyde had been moved. Most noticeably, the large concrete pit he had filmed months earlier was now completely covered with sheets, something that hadn't been there during his first visit. Whatever had happened inside the building, someone had clearly gone to the effort of changing the scene. During his first visit, the uploader repeatedly referred to the remains as movie props, but after returning nearly 10 months later, no longer sounded nearly as convinced. According to him, the remains appeared to be in a much more advanced state of decomposition than before. Because of the graphic nature of the footage, I can't show it here. However, several of the remains appeared to have open chest cavities, with some seemingly missing internal organs. What exactly had happened to them is impossible to determine from the video alone. Shortly after uploading the second exploration, both the video and the uploader's entire channel suddenly disappeared. The disappearance immediately sparked speculation online. Some viewers believed the uploader had been threatened into taking the footage down, while others suspected the platform had simply removed the videos because of their graphic content. A few days later, the channel unexpectedly returned. However, every video related to the abandoned laboratory had been deleted. That only fueled even more speculation. Viewers put forward a number of theories. One of the most common suggested the remains could be connected to illegal organ trafficking, pointing to long-standing allegations surrounding China's transplant system. However, it's important to note that there is no evidence linking this particular laboratory or the footage itself to organ harvesting. Based on the video alone, it's impossible to verify what the uploader actually discovered. Therefore, in the end, separating fact from speculation is nearly impossible. We simply don't know what really happened inside that laboratory. In 2023, YouTuber Idar Biglow Love chose to spend the night completely alone inside an abandoned complex deep in the woods. He had no idea what the mysterious place had originally been used for. At first, he thought it could have been an old hospital, but after exploring the buildings, he decided to pitch a tent and remain there until morning. For the first few hours, everything stayed completely silent. But sometime during the night, Idar suddenly woke up after hearing a noise coming from somewhere outside his tent. And this time, it didn't sound like the old building was simply collapsing.
Нет, это уже шаги. Кто здесь?
Earlier that day, Idar had reached the abandoned complex by himself. The location wasn't marked on any map, and he had no idea what the buildings had originally been used for. Inside, he discovered children's belongings, huge empty rooms, and several areas that made him suspect the place may have once been a medical facility. After spending hours exploring the complex, he eventually found a spot where he felt it would be safe to set up his tent.
В общем, я думаю, разложить здесь палатку, потому что, во-первых, если что, я услышу, если вдруг кто-то каким-то образом сюда начнет подниматься, тут есть лестница, я услышу. Вот, и отсюда никто не сможет добраться. В общем, я собрал палатку, ребят, вот моя палаточка. На крайний случай, здесь открытые окна, но и не слишком высоко. Вроде все нормально.
As night settled in, every little noise became much more difficult to ignore. At first, Idar heard occasional sounds coming from around the building. He knew there could be a simple explanation: the abandoned structure was falling apart, and pieces of debris could collapse without warning. Eventually, he managed to fall asleep. But around an hour and a half to 2 hours later, Idar suddenly woke up. Something was moving somewhere nearby.
В общем, я поспал 1,5-2 часа и услышал какой-то шум. Что это? Что это? Тут ничего нет.
At first, he assumed it was probably just debris falling somewhere inside the building. But the longer he listened, the more the noise began to sound like footsteps. Idar stepped out of his tent and started searching through the building. He couldn't see anyone, but he began to suspect that he wasn't alone inside. Then suddenly, the situation became even more frightening. He heard movement again, this time much closer, and moments later, it seemed like someone was following him.
Вот камень какой-то сыпется. Падает. Стоп. Нет, это уже шаги. Кто здесь? Надо валить отсюда, надо отсюда. Тихо. Вещи. Плохо на эту палатку. Кто здесь?
For a few moments, Idar had no idea who was behind him or what they wanted. But what he didn't realize was that the events unfolding that night weren't exactly what they appeared to be. The video eventually reveals that Idar's cameraman knew exactly where he had gone. Together with several others, he had secretly made his way to the abandoned complex for one reason: to scare Idar.
Ребят, просто я не знаю, почему мне так везет всегда. С этими, блин, заброшками. Так, дойти. Сука. Так. Прям за мной, походу, идут. Да, там кто-то идет. Может, охрана? Я не знаю. Блять, ну это лес. Кто? Так.
Страшно ночью, да, спать?
Блин.
Как тебя учиться одному, да? А?
Это было жестко. Твою мать. Бля.
Че, жутко?
Вообще, бля, просто пересрался.
А че,
Я пытался-
верни камеру. Ну как тебе, Айдар Бигл?
У меня слов нет, я пока говорить не могу, потому что я вообще типа, типа в камбусе. Это вообще было просто... В общем, было жестко. Жестко было, жестко.
The person Idar believed was following him was actually part of the prank. What initially appeared to be a dangerous encounter with a mysterious stranger was eventually revealed to have been staged by people he already knew. However, that still doesn't explain every sound Idar heard earlier that night. From the footage, it's impossible to know which noises were caused by the prank and which may have simply come from the old building or the surrounding forest. But one thing was certain. By the end of the night, Idar wasn't as alone as he had thought. The Fam is one of the most well-known urban exploration channels on YouTube, following James as he documents his visits to some of the most dangerous abandoned buildings across the United States. Many of these explorations take place alone and often long after dark, where a single mistake can quickly turn into a life-threatening situation. On August 6, 2018, James traveled to a massive abandoned building in Richmond, Virginia. From the moment he stepped inside, it was obvious the place had been left to rot for years. Collapsed ceilings, broken concrete, and piles of debris covered almost every floor. For the first few minutes, the exploration unfolded exactly as expected. Then, something happened that neither James nor his viewers could explain.
Watch my stepping around here. You guys notice I film a lot on the ground. That's because and that's why I film on the ground, guys. Damn it. Okay, my shoes are wet, guys. That didn't take too long. I did not see much water down there, guys. I'm glad I didn't go fully force down there. I would have been swimming. Damn.
As James continued deeper into the building, it became clear that the biggest danger wasn't squatters or anything paranormal, it was the building itself. At one point, James unknowingly stepped into what he thought was solid ground, only to realize it was several inches of stagnant water. Fortunately, only his feet got wet. While that might not sound particularly dangerous, abandoned buildings often contain contaminated water, hidden debris, sharp metal, exposed chemicals, and in rare cases, harmful microorganisms. For urban explorers, a single careless step can result in serious injury, or far worse. After realizing what he'd walked into, James quickly backed away and continued his exploration. As James continued deeper into the building, he began noticing signs that someone might still be living there. Several rooms contained mattresses that looked surprisingly clean, along with other belongings that didn't appear to have been abandoned. It was enough to suggest the building wasn't as empty as it first seemed. Moments later, that suspicion was confirmed.
I'm definitely keeping an eye out on the ground, guys. Oh, what is that? Oh, that's the Staples Hill. Yeah. Oh, what's back here? Dude, this place is freaky. Gotta watch my step back here for sure. Oh shit! What the? Yo, bro, come on. Yo, I'm good, dude. You alright? I'm just making a video, dude. Bro, you need anything? You okay? Alright, I got you, man. Alright, man. Alright, bro. Alright. I'm just making a video, bro. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be in your place.
As James looked into one of the rooms, a man wearing a yellow t-shirt suddenly appeared and immediately began yelling at him. Within seconds, the man charged straight toward James, leaving him with only one option: run. After all, when you unexpectedly encounter someone inside an abandoned building, there's no way of knowing what they're capable of.
Yo, if you're down here, I'm friendly. Hey! Alright, bro. Come on, man. I told you, I'm just filming, bro. Hey, stay back there, dude. Yo, hey, don't worry about what you're saying, dude. Just keep yourself back there. Alright, okay. Alright, we out here. Yeah, alright, man.
Fortunately, James managed to make it out of the building unharmed.